What did you say? Scavenger Scum.
Hi everyone, I'm Erin and welcome to Scavenger Scum. Before we get started, I just want to say a big thank you to everyone who sent their wishes over the last few months. It's truly meant a lot. But this isn't about me. Let's move on to some Ben Solo talk. The ending of Ben Solo has a lot of people baffled and upset. Let's take a look at James's point of view.
Ben Solo is dead. Perhaps. From what we are shown in The Rise of Skywalker, his body vanishes. Like Obi-Wan Kenobi and Luke Skywalker before him, Ben Solo became one with the Force. Many people have taken to social media to express their disdain for the decision to kill off the final Skywalker. Sure, Rey takes the surname Skywalker while burying the lightsabers of her former Jedi Masters there, a surname she uses ceremoniously. SheVP informs us that Ben was the last in the bloodline of the Skywalkers, and now he's gone. So why would Lucasfilm end the Skywalker saga on such a downer? Why would the Skywalker be a bloodline of doomed individuals? Why not give us something happy and uplifting? My answer? It is happy. In a melancholy, happy sort of way. But it's nice and touching. If you're not a fan of Ben Solo dying, this probably won't change your opinion. I just want to shed some light on my view of how this all went down. Because Star Wars, after all, is from a certain point of view. Kylo Ren was a tyrant. He was not a very good dude. Anyone living in this galaxy far, far away understands that. They witness his villainous. They don't see or hear his inner demons like we do. They only see a man in a mask, or without a mask, with fantastic hair. To the galaxy, Kylo Ren is a murderer. He destroyed Hosnian Prime, or at the very least, was a part of its destruction. The galaxy would not know otherwise. Because of this, Ben Solo could never lead a normal life. He can never go home. In fact, he says so to the vision of his father. I can't go home. I can't go home. However, right from The Force Awakens, regardless of what evil deeds he has done, Ben Solo's mother, Leia Organa, wanted him home. She wanted Han to bring her son home. She wanted Luke to bring her son home. Neither could. Luke's words to Leia, "No one is ever really gone," were critical in the final moments of her life, and the most uplifting moment in Ben's adult life. As Kylo is on the brink of turning completely dark, as he is being manipulated by Palpatine, he confronts Rey, toys with her. He is about to forcefully bring the Scavenger to the former Emperor in hopes to rule the galaxy as his grandfather once hoped. This was not to be. Leia, with her last breath, reached out to her son. As we learn in The Last Jedi, the power of this would kill a person. Now, in The Last Jedi, we clearly see it. In The Rise of Skywalker, we don't, but my guess is that has to do with Carrie Fisher no longer being with us. In this moment, Kylo is stopped. Kylo Ren is dead. I mean, Rey kills him, he sees his father, and then he becomes Ben again. So, Kylo Ren, dead. Once Ben returns, he helps Rey fight SheVP, Palpatine. Palpatine is obviously the ultimate puppet master, and he uses both Ben and Rey, tossing the last Skywalker into the abyss. Rey then, kills Palpatine, but she herself is killed in the process. Ben emerges from the pit, most likely because he was trained to catch his fall. We learn that in a comic. When he returns, he uses the Force to save Rey. The difference is Ben was weakened by the fall. He was already near death when he used his last bit of life to save the woman he truly loved. This saga began with Anakin wanting to learn to save the people he loved from dying, but never had the strength to do so. He valued his life more. Ben, however, had the strength to do so. He sacrificed himself to save Rey, and in doing so, he saved the galaxy and the Jedi. The last Skywalker properly balanced the Force. And as Ben lays on the floor, we cut to the body of his mother Leia, who has since passed away. It is only now, only when her son's soul is at peace, does Leia become one with the Force. And as she becomes one with the Force, so does her son. Leia brings her son with her. She brings her boy home. The Skywalker saga comes full circle. Ben finishes what his grandfather started. This is just my view of what happened in Ben Solo's final moments. You can disagree, but please let me know in the comments below. Do you think Ben Solo's alive? And do you think he had a, maybe not a happy ending, but a rightful ending in the Skywalker saga? Please be respectful when you do comment.
How would you have handled Ben Solo's final moments in the Skywalker saga? Let's move over to a special announcement from our friend Jericho Kane.
Hey scumbags, my name is Jericho. I'm a YouTuber, a content creator, gamer, filmmaker, and an actor. But why am I here? Well, I'm also a Star Wars fan. I've been friends with James and Andrew for a few years now. And after some talking and, getting to know each other a little bit, they were kind enough to let me join the RSPN Detours channel. But what am I going to be doing on the channel? Well, being a gamer myself and a Star Wars fan, I'm going to be bringing you guys some awesome Star Wars gaming content. I'm going to be bringing you some series on the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order game, the Vader Immortal game, and any other future Star Wars games that come out in the next couple years. And maybe even some of the older Star Wars games if you guys want to see those, like Knights of the Old Republic or Battlefront. Anything you guys want to see that is Star Wars gaming related. So yeah, I'm really excited to help bring you guys some more Star Wars content. It's been nice meeting you all, and I hope you guys subscribe to both of the Rebel Scum channels. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, Jericho. Now let's shift gears and move over to the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. The series, which was scheduled to begin principal photography this summer, has been shifted to January due to scripting. Whether it's script issues or just revisions, we don't know. What we do know is YouTube clearly has a beef with Kathleen Kennedy, but let's not be so hasty. Reports are indicating the series was too similar to The Mandalorian. Now, we all love The Mandalorian, but we already have it. So now the scripts, which Ewan McGregor says were fantastic, are being rewritten. Thursday, January 23rd, it was reported that Hussein Amini was no longer attached to the project, and now reports are hinting at Star Wars veteran Dave Filoni and Mandalorian writer Christopher Yost are taking over the duties. While none of this has been confirmed yet, we suggest you take it with a grain of salt. With Mandalorian Season 2 hitting Disney Plus in the fall 2020 and Cassian Andor still in the works, possibly looking at a 2021 release date, we here at Rebel Scum Podcast Network are just fine with them taking their time and making the Kenobi series the best series it could be. And with Deborah Chow at the helm, we have all the faith in the world it will be. The Mandalorian ended the end of November with a massive twist. And if you haven't seen The Mandalorian, this next story is a major spoiler alert. Here's Rob.
The myth and lore of Star Wars is second to none. The end of The Mandalorian left new fans with questions and diehards in awe. Moff Gideon was seen wielding the Darksaber. But what is the Darksaber, and why is it significant? The Darksaber first belonged to its creator, Mandalorian Tar Vizsla. He would be the first Mandalorian inducted into the Jedi Order. When Tar Vizsla died, the Darksaber was kept in the Jedi Temple. During the fall of the Republic, House Vizsla would steal the Darksaber from the Temple and used it to declare themselves rulers of Mandalore. For many generations, the Darksaber would belong to House Vizsla. Eventually, the Darksaber passed to Pre Vizsla, the leader of Death Watch, a group shown saving a young Din Djarin during the Clone Wars. Pre Vizsla seek to regain control of Mandalore with the help of Maul, a former Darth and pupil of Darth Sidious. Due to a betrayal made on the part of Pre Vizsla, Maul killed him and took control of the Darksaber and Death Watch. Maul won many battles with the Darksaber. It was in his possession on Dathomir for many years, until a disgraced Mandalorian by the name of Sabine Wren came into its possession. Trained by Jedi Knight Kanan Jarrus, Sabine learned the ways of the Darksaber and used it to return order to Mandalore. Sabine extended the Darksaber to Bo-Katan Kryze, whose sister Satine was leader of the new Mandalorians before being killed by Maul many years prior. Bo-Katan was last seen raising the Darksaber above her head to become the new leader of Mandalore. Through the Mandalorian show we hear of a great purge, and now we see Moff Gideon with the blade. What has become of Bo-Katan? Was she killed? Or will she seek out Moff Gideon in an effort to win back the Darksaber and unite the Mandalorians once again?
But what made The Mandalorian resonate with fans? James takes a look.
The first season of The Mandalorian was a massive success, not only for Disney Plus, but also in the eyes of Star Wars fans. But why were fans able to unite around this show and not the sequel trilogy? What separates Mando from the rest of the pack? As someone who loves the sequel trilogy, my belief on this comes from the care for the universe. Characters are characters and plot is plot, but Star Wars, as I've said on the Rebel Scum podcast many times, is more than just movies. People have found Star Wars through books, comics, video games, animated shows, and so on. Star Wars has been around so long and in so many different mediums that our entry point into the galaxy has been varied. The Mando is a love letter to all of the above, from the holiday special to the Ewok movies and of course Yoda. The series understood how to use all the elements of the galaxy we have fallen in love with, but it used them in ways that helped serve the plot, as simple as the plot may have been. The show was a love letter to the serials George Lucas used as his inspiration for Star Wars, and not just Star Wars. I think that was crucial in the success of the show. And that's going to be crucial for Star Wars going forward. Instead of putting the focus on Star Wars, the focus was on the universe the saga lived within. So what were your thoughts on Season 1 of The Mandalorian? Looking forward to Season 2? And what are some of your expectations?
With Jedi Fallen Order being such a huge success, will EA bring back Knights of the Old Republic? Andrew has more.
Cinelinx is reporting that 2 independent sources are saying EA is working on a new Knights of the Old Republic series, which would use elements from the first 2 games and make them canon. If this is true, that could mean that Lucasfilm will leave the Old Republic to video game storytelling while focusing on High Republic and later on in the feature film world. And while information on the new film series is mum at the moment, Making Star Wars seems to believe it will be the High Republic era, dealing with Jedi in the unknown regions. Our good friend Charlie Skywalker from the Star Wars Through the Ages podcast believes this new series could take place in the Citadel, a construct from about 400 years prior to the Skywalker saga, which was used to hold rogue Jedi. Not sure if this is how it'll play out, but sounds cool to us. And hey, if you want to check out the Citadel, you can see it in the Clone Wars cartoon.
And finally, with the rise of Skywalker crossing over 500 million domestically and being rated the worst Star Wars movie on Rotten Tomatoes, Andrew takes a look at how A New Hope would have been reviewed had it come out in 2015.
Hi guys, I'm a YouTuber. So it's 2015 and this new movie just came out called Star Wars. So let's talk about it, because guess what? It kind of sucks. Alright, first things first, there's this princess, and she's got like a British accent for the first third of the movie, and then she doesn't. Her British accent goes away. It's like the acting is so inconsistent. Where did her accent go? Is this really the best actress they could find? I don't know who this lady is, but she sucks. Okay, so the Empire has these guys called stormtroopers, and they run around with guns and they shoot everybody. So everybody they kill just gets shot with guns, okay? But when it comes to Luke Skywalker's aunt and uncle, those guys get burned to death instead, just so I guess Luke can have like a conveniently dramatic, tense moment and like see their dead bodies all burned up and shit. It's so forced. Why didn't the stormtroopers just shoot them like normal? Why did it have to be skeletons? They're trying to force emotion down our throats because they can't actually do it with their dumb script and their flimsy actors. So old man Ben Kenobi brings up this thing called the Clone Wars, and Luke's like, oh, you fought in the Clone Wars? And he's like, yeah, I was a Jedi Knight in the Clone Wars. And it's like, what's this Clone Wars business? You're telling me there was a whole war based around cloning people? Like, that seems kind of important. You'd think that if clones were such a big deal that they would have wars about them, that the people of this galaxy would talk more about clones and maybe some of the characters would still be clones. Why don't they go more into the backstory of these clones? It seems like something we, the audience, should know. Alright, so they're on the big Death Star station, and there's this point where Han Solo and Chewbacca go running down the hall, and then they run right into this room full of like 100 stormtroopers, and the stormtroopers start shooting at them, but neither of them get hit even once? Come on, man. Chewbacca is like this 7-foot-tall Sasquatch monster. He's a big target. I think one of those lasers would probably hit him. In a real world, he'd be dead. What kind of stupid script is this? This movie makes no sense, and it's stupid. Okay, those lightsaber swords, those like laser swords, those things are kind of cool, but we only get like one time in the movie where two people fight with them, and that fight was the lamest thing I've ever seen in my life. Has the director even seen a sword fight before? These two guys are magic space wizards. They should be like flipping around and throwing shit with their minds. Instead, it's like watching two geriatric people do aerobics class. And then Obi-Wan Kenobi dies, but his body just disappears and his clothes just fall on the floor. That's so dumb and random. Why does that happen? Why doesn't the movie explain why that happens? If Princess Leia knows that the Han Solo Falcon ship is being tracked by the Empire, why the hell does she just casually fly back to the rebel base? Why don't they stop somewhere else first and try to lose their tail? Like, did a child write this script? Alright, let's talk about that climax scene now. So, Luke Skywalker has the magic power called the Force. Okay, fine. But he had 5 minutes of training on the ship with that stupid floaty ball thing? 5 minutes tops of training to use the Force. Yet somehow, in the heat of this important battle, he manages to use the Force flawlessly to guide his missile into that little hole and blow up the space station. It's also pretty convenient that all these grizzled, seasoned military pilots go up to this battle, and Luke Skywalker, a guy who has never flown an X-Wing in his life, is somehow only one of those guys who makes it out alive? What a fucking Mary Sue. That's what he is. He's a Mary Sue. He's good at everything, and he has no reason to be. He's the worst character of 2015, hands down. And what was the point of throwing in that scene with Luke's friend with the mustache, where he's just like, hey, it's my old friend, just to have that guy die 4 minutes later? We don't care when he dies. We're not sad. It's just this George Lucas guy trying to add tension and sadness and fill the void of his empty screenwriting. Oh, and speaking of fake tension, they make you think R2-D2 died in that space battle, but then once they land, they just cut away and they come back and he's fine again and he's all clean. So it's like, wow, no stakes there. Death doesn't matter in this universe. It was just a cheap fake out. Darth Vader, you know what? I'll give him this. He was kind of a cool villain, but he went out like a chump. Han Solo is the sidekick character, okay? Why does he kill Darth Vader? The sidekick should never kill the main villain. That would be like if Marcus Brody was the one who killed the Nazi colonel. It's so stupid. Luke Skywalker should have been the one to shoot him. Then they go and they end on this stupid ceremony where they have a parade or something, because I guess they couldn't think of a way to end this piece of garbage. And the princess gives medals to Luke and to Han Solo, but she doesn't give one to Chewbacca, even though he helped them and he was just as helpful as this makes no sense. Why would you not give him a medal? He's even standing right there. It's not like he's off doing something else. Did they just forget to make a third prop or something? Why is this so stupid? I read rumors on Reddit that Fox has plans to do a couple more sequels and it wants to make the next one to come out 2 years from now. And I'm just like, no, okay? Fox, you should not waste your time or your money or your energy. Just no. Trust me, 2 years from now, nobody is even going to remember that Star Wars was a thing. How about instead of this, Fox, you concentrate your efforts on making Avatar 2, because that's what everybody actually wants, okay? Bottom line, 2 thumbs down, this movie's terrible, and it ruined my childhood.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Until next time, I'm Erin, and I have spoken. Hey, scumbags. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up on our video. As always, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Rebel Scum Podcast, for all the latest videos.